Have you ever walked into an abandoned city at night and felt the air itself whispering to you? Ethan, a freelance journalist always chasing stories of deserted places, decided to spend the night in an old industrial city. Deserted since the 1980s. From the moment he entered, he realized this city was alive, but not in the way we usually think. It watched, it breathed, it waited. The bitter smell of rot mixed with ash and damp earth hit him as he stepped onto the outskirts. The sun had already set, fog rolled across the empty streets, and the dim street lamps flickered orange. Every footstep echoed as if the city itself amplified his fear. His first stop was an old school. The doors groaned like a warning. Inside, the air smelled of decayed wood and old ink. Strange symbols were carved into the walls, and whispers seemed to come from nowhere, disappearing whenever he turned. Ethan's flashlight cut through the darkness, revealing peeling paint and shadows that twitched as if alive. On the second floor, the blackened classroom walls seemed to shift. Words appeared and disappeared. Leave, stay. Shadows in the corners moved almost imperceptibly. His heart raced, breath caught in his chest, hands trembling. Outside, a children's playground appeared. Swings moved without wind. Sand in the sandbox looked freshly disturbed. He stepped closer. Children's laughter echoed through the streets. No one was there. Tiny footprints appeared, leading toward an old store, whose doors were inexplicably open. Inside, shelves were stocked with dust-covered dolls, their empty eyes following him wherever he went. He tried to leave, but the doors slammed shut. A cold, foul breath brushed his neck. No one was there. The city itself came alive. Streetlights flickered, shadows stretched and slithered along walls, and windows reflected faces that should not exist. Each street became a labyrinth, twisting endlessly. Wind carried moans, screams, and labored breathing, while the road stretched beyond what his eyes could see. He stumbled into an old movie theater. On the screen played a film of him walking the empty streets, screaming, falling. Suddenly the noise erupted from the screen, hundreds of voices shouting at once. "You are ours. You will not leave." Ethan ran, vaulting over debris, desperately searching for the outskirts. Yet each attempt brought him back to the city center. Footsteps, labored breathing, whispers followed him. Figures flashed on empty balconies, vanishing the moment he looked directly. He entered an old church. Pews were broken. The altar burned, yet candles burned themselves. On the walls, messages written in blood. "You are ours, and stay forever." He tried to scream. His voice echoed, turning into whispers repeating his name. Suddenly, the floor beneath him in the church collapsed, and he fell into a basement. Cold, damp, the smell of rot and mold choked him. Walls quivered, shadows crawled, and footsteps approached, but no one was visible. Figures surrounded him, closing in slowly, whispers rising to screams. "You are ours, stay, forever." He tried to escape. Every hallway was a trap. Doors led to new corridors. Old toys littered the floor as sinister guides. Mirrors reflected faces that were not his own, and windows showed streets that didn't exist. At dawn, the first light barely cutting through the fog, his friends who had come to search found the city empty. No Ethan, no sign of him at all. Only dusty dolls on the playground and scattered tapes labeled for the next one. Now, ask yourself, if you were alone in this city, where streets lived their own lives, walls whispered, and shadows watched, would you survive, or would the city claim you forever? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to hear even scarier stories.